This time on the Low Boost Garage, we're going to see what the M235i puts down in the dyno. Cue the intro. Down some third real slow. So we are headed over to our buddies at Highline Motorsports, and we're gonna do a little dyno run. So my car's already been basically tuned because I have a JB4, and I've kind of worked out the kinks with the different maps. So we are gonna do 3 different runs. We are gonna do it on 93 on the stock map and see what it puts down. It's supposed to put down 320 to the crank. Some people claim 300 at the wheels. We'll actually see what the real deal is with it. Then we're gonna do map 2 on 93, see what it puts down there. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of corn. We're gonna go with E30 ethanol mix, and I'm gonna run my own map that I have on map 6, I think it is, and that should be around 16.5 PSI. I did a full track day with it. It did really great, so I wanna see what it does and what it can actually put down on the dyno to the tire with the ethanol mix. So you guys are in for a treat today. The M235 is a N55 engine. It's got the F series variant of it, so it has an electronic wastegate, and it is rumored that these turbo wheels are just a little bit bigger than the E series one, so I'm hoping that it'll put down a little bit more power than some regular N55s. Also, the M235 has some forged components. It supposedly has a forged crank and some more internals in there as well that are forged, so it's a little bit of a different engine, not quite the M2 engine, which is also an N55, but that does have more power from the factory, but they're very, very similar. So I'm really excited to see this. Highline Motorsports does a lot of things. They work on a lot of BMWs. They're just now getting into dyno tuning. So Dave has an E30 S52 supercharged. You might have seen in a previous video that I had. He also has an E39 M5 that is supercharged. So he's definitely doing some dyno tuning on that. And he does a lot of N54 stuff too. So he's not a big fan of the N55s, but he is interested to see what this car puts down. I'll tell you a little bit more about the car on the way here. It is a 2014 with a stick shift 6-speed. I have a VRSF Chargepipe. I have a Wagner Performance front mount intercooler 7-inch stepped. It's nice and big. I also have a VRSF Catless downpipe with stock exhaust and an AFE power intake. JB4 tuned multiple maps, which I made my own, which the custom map 6 peaks at 16.5 PSI. So that's a breakdown on the car, at least as far as engine modifications go. Torque over stock plus 79 horsepower, max at 364.3 horsepower. All right, so the first one we're gonna do is 93 octane on the stock map. Quick caveat here when I say stock. It is the stock map. However, the car is full bolt-on, especially this big intercooler that you see in the photo here. So it's not true stock dyno run, but it is stock PSI.
I don't have traction, I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to adjust the straps, but like, I don't think, hopefully they're not too tight. Torque is fucking impressive for a stock tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second run we're gonna do 93 octane on map 2, which is around 14.5 psi. What the fuck?
That's really fucking good.
Man, what did I tell you outside? On the third map, we're gonna run my map 6, which I have around 16.5 psi, and we're gonna do that on E30, 30% ethanol. We're up to 384 now on the 16.5 psi map with the E30 ethanol content. You can see the jump in the torque, definitely down low, and to make it a little bit more up top. I have my boost kind of tailing off towards the end because I don't want my high pressure fuel pump to struggle, but I still have it, so it should still be making decent boost up until 6,000 RPM. So, dyno day is done. 387 horsepower on my E30 16.5 PSI map. I did run it on the 18.5 map 7 on E30, which I usually run race gas on. And this is how that went. That was E30 and map 7. Don't suggest doing that all the time, but that ain't bad. So, not that much different. It's just blowing hot air at that point, even though it's 2 PSI more. Much more torque though. We're gonna do another dyno day. We're coming back on race gas to see what it actually does, but for now, I'm very happy with the car. So the car made good power for an M55. More than, I'm kind of surprised it made as much as it did. I felt I only really could get that kind of power on race gas. So E30 mix did very, very well. So make sure you guys stay up to date on the channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell for notifications because we got a lot more videos coming. And thank you guys for watching. Big shout out to Highline Motorsports for letting me bring my car in there and do some pulls. I'm very happy. And if you guys need dyno tuning, if you have an N54 car or really any BMW, so I'll put a link in the description below so you guys can get in touch with them. And thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna catch you in the next one.